Hey everyone, Passion here. I'm not going to do my normal intro for this video because this video is kind of a more serious one. I'm not going to be talking about anything like gameplay related, no hero reviews or anything. I want to take a moment to talk about someone whose life, work, and tragic passing deserve attention from this community and beyond. So, you might have heard in the news recently about Mikayla Raines. She was the founder of the nonprofit animal rescue SaveAFox, and unfortunately, she died by suicide on June 23rd, 2025, and she was 29 years old. Now, if that name doesn't sound familiar to you right away, her impact might. Mikayla was a YouTuber, just like me, who dedicated her life to rescuing and rehabilitating domestic foxes, animals that were often neglected, abandoned, or bred for the fur trade. She turned this passion into a full-blown sanctuary in Minnesota, and through her content on YouTube and Instagram and all that, she helped educate millions about these misunderstood animals. But even if you, like me, aren't really familiar with her animal advocacy, Mikayla does have a very real connection to the Overwatch community that I know everyone who watches this channel is familiar with. So, if you have ever played Kiriko in Overwatch 2 and heard the bark or yip of her Kitsune spirit as it dashes across the map, you've heard one of Mikayla's foxes. That's not a sound effect from a stock library, that is a real fox, one of Mikayla's pet foxes, living in her sanctuary, whose vocalizations were recorded by Blizzard with the help of SaveAFox. So, when I say her work has touched this game, I mean that literally. A part of her and the animals she gave a second chance to, they live on in Overwatch 2. And that's part of why the news of her death has kind of hit so hard in the Overwatch community. A lot of people didn't even know that she was affiliated with this game until it kind of came out, and people were like browsing the SaveAFox Facebook after her death and found a post where Mikayla made when Kiriko was set to come out as a hero in Overwatch 2, and talked about how she was involved with it. And so it's not something that she like made very apparent or bragged about too much, but yeah, I believe her. I think one of her foxes that was recorded for Kiriko's Kitsune fox spirit, his name was Finnegan. And yeah, Blizzard kind of collaborated with SaveAFox, and also made a big contribution to that charity, I might add, to have real foxes as the voice of Kiriko's Kitsune spirit. So Mikayla had been open in the past about struggling with her mental health. She lived with depression, borderline personality disorder, and autism. She was someone who poured her soul into caring for others, especially animals, but often felt isolated, misunderstood, and targeted, even at the hands of other rescue organizations. Unfortunately, Mikayla, like I said, was the victim of sustained online harassment, and for years she received messages attacking her credibility, her rescue practices, even her appearance. Some of it just came from complete strangers, and some of it came from people who used to be part of her inner circle. So her husband, Ethan, confirmed the cause of death in an emotional post on social media, stating that she had taken her own life and that he attempted CPR for over 15 minutes, but it was too late. He said that she had been struggling for a long time, and that the constant waves of bullying and stress eventually broke through her resilience. He gave a quote to People magazine in an interview saying that she felt as if the entire world had turned against her, highlighting just how destructive and isolating cyberbullying had become. So this is someone who built a sanctuary, right? Who saved foxes from being skinned alive, who gave blind and injured animals a chance to play again and a chance to be happy again, and the internet still found a way to turn that light into a target, which is disgusting. and it's heartbreaking, and it's a sobering reminder of how cruel people can be behind a screen, of how easy it is to just kind of pile on, to mock, and to doubt, and how hard it is to carry that weight day after day when you're already dealing with mental health struggles. So how does this have to do with Overwatch besides, you know, her Fox's involvement with Kiriko? Well, aside from her literal contribution to the game, the community, and I hope anyone in the community rallies with me, and rallies together to call for Blizzard to officially honor Mikayla in the game, and I agree that this is something that we should do. Players kind of have been asking for something simple yet meaningful, like a Kiriko weapon charm, featuring a stylized fox, maybe inspired by Mikayla's most well-known rescue foxes, like Finnegan or Dixie, one of those. Others have suggested a Kiriko skin based on Mikayla's real-world rescue outfit. That would be very cool, but I do know how long skins take to make. So even if that was an option, we wouldn't be seeing it for like at least a year, probably. So I think that while it would be very nice to have a Kiriko skin for Mikayla, I think it would be a much easier and faster implementation to get like that weapon charm, and give it out for free to all players. I think that'd be great. Or if you don't want to do that, have it as a charity bundle. Have it. I mean, I guess you could do a skin, kind of like, you know, they did for Pink Mercy. Do a skin in a charity bundle, maybe with the weapon charm or a spray or whatever, and then donate the proceeds to SaveAFox. I think that would be that'd be great. And this wouldn't just be a tribute to her; it would be a statement from Blizzard and from the player base that we remember those who, like Harold Winston says, you know, dare to see the world for what it could be. That we value kindness, and that we won't forget the people whose voices might not always be the loudest, but whose impact is felt every time we boot up the game. And I want to be clear, this isn't performative. Mikayla's passing isn't just an excuse to talk about cosmetics or get social media points. It's not about that. It's about acknowledging that the human beings behind the scenes, the voice actors, the sound designers, the rescue workers, the volunteers, they matter just as much as any dev or player in the OWCS does. I do hope that Blizzard listens. I mean, they've honored real people before. Jeff Kaplan's parents are referenced in the game. I'm forgetting, apologies, but I'm forgetting who it was. There was like a really pro Overwatch player who unfortunately passed away sometime after the beta, and he was before the game officially came out, and he was honored in Lijiang Tower. One of the spacesuits in Lijiang Tower has a plaque with his name over it. Honoring Mikayla wouldn't just be fitting, it would be consistent with what Overwatch was always supposed to be about, and that's hope and heroism and heart. So, if this has touched you the way it's touched me, what can you do to help? Well, first of all, if you do have the means, you can support SaveAFox directly. As I was just coming home to get ready to record this, I stumbled across the social media post from Ethan from SaveAFox, and it shows that they have a Facebook donation thing already going live. They've already raised over $68,000, which is incredible. But you can still help and support that directly. They're still caring for dozens of foxes, many of whom have special needs, require long-term support, so you can donate to them through their official website at SaveAFox.org. I'll put the link in the description, or you can find them on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all that, and spread awareness of their cause. They also have an online store where proceeds will help fund food, shelter, and veterinary care for the animals that are still living in the sanctuary. And second, this is very critical. If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, please don't stay silent. There is help out there. In the US, you can call or text 988 at any time to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 24/7. It's completely free. And if you're outside the US, you can check out 988lifeline.org, where they have a global directory for countries around the world for mental health hotlines, and it's all listed by country. And no matter how alone you feel, you are not alone. There are people who care, there are resources, communities, and conversations waiting for you. So you just remember you deserve to be here. Mikayla, in my opinion, was one of those heroes that Tracer says we need more of in the world. And she deserved to be here. And we should do everything we can to make sure that her legacy and the message she lived by stays alive. So be kind to each other, be mindful, never underestimate how far a single act of compassion can ripple. But remember, guys, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.